channel. If you're new here, my name is Yoyis and I'm a lash artist in Las Vegas. And on my channel, I teach you guys everything about being a lash artist, and I just recently started a new series called Lash Babies Killing It, and on this series I want to incorporate as many lash artists as I can. Doesn't matter if you're new or if you're 100 years into the lash industry. And in this video you guys are actually gonna meet a beautiful talented girl that is pretty much going through all the same struggles that we all are going through and are still going through. But the reason why I started this series is because I want you guys to all feel like we're all a part of a journey and you're not in it alone. The whole point of this series is to bring a community of lash babes who, no matter if they're 1 month in, 1 week in, 1 day in, or 100 years in the industry, I want you guys to feel like you guys are badass babes and you guys are killing it. Like, no matter what you're doing, if you are practicing, even if you took a break with everything going on and you weren't able to lash, but you're trying to get yourself back in the game, it doesn't matter. I want you to know that you are killing it. So in today's video, I had the pleasure of talking to Dee from D Lashbox, and I'll have her information and her Instagram link down below so you guys could check out her beautiful work. So we pretty much talked about, you know, how to get back in the groove of things after COVID, and I am so glad that we actually talk about this, just because, you know, with everything going on, it's a little difficult, or you feel like you can't seem to get back in the groove of things. Then I highly recommend to watch this video just because of the little helpful insight tips that Dee mentioned. So if you guys want to see my beautiful lash babe for today, then let's get into the video. Hello, can you hear me? You can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, there we go.
Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Pretty.
Oh, thank you. You too. I like your back.
Thank
The
you.
lash box, your little logo back there. It's really
thank
cute.
you. DIY.
Oh, you made it?
Oh, were you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got like a border from Hobby Lobby, spray painted in black, and then I ordered the logo and had my boyfriend do it.
That is so cute. I love that idea. So I do want to warn you that I have dogs, and if I get a little,
I have a dog too. It's okay. It's okay.
They might be barking
He's like
downstairs.
right here.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua.
Oh,
that
yeah?
barks a lot, so hopefully he doesn't bark.
Dogs. It's always the small ones.
Yeah.
All right. So, Dee, can you tell us your name and where you're from?
Yes. So my name is Deandra. I'm from Houston, Texas.
Oh,
and yeah.
Okay.
I feel. Am I delayed? I feel like I'm answering the questions like a little later. Is it? You can hear me fine, right?
Yeah, there'll be times where it's like a little, and then you like kind of break up a little bit. So that's why I'm like kind of like catch up. Okay. All right then, Dee. So you want to be called Dee, right?
Yeah, I am Dee. That's a lot of people like butcher my name. They're like Deandria. I'm like, why are you adding extra syllables to my name? So I just call it.
You're like, that's not my name. All right, Dee. So how long have you been lashing for, and how did you get started in the industry, and what made you want to be a part of the industry?
So, okay, I do makeup too. I'm a makeup artist.
Okay.
I've been a makeup artist for 6 years.
Okay.
And I think around that 4-year mark, I started to get a little bit bored and uninspired. So I've always loved lashes, like strip lashes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like start my own strip lash business company or whatever. And that's when I came up with lash box. So I was doing that for a little bit, and I kept getting like these posts on my Instagram and on Facebook. It was, I don't know if you ever came across it, say like you can 8-figure, lash artist. So I was like, okay, there's money in this lash extension. I didn't know anything about it. I've gotten my lashes done before, but I just didn't know. So I remember sitting on the bed with my boyfriend and telling him like, hey, I think I want to do lashes. And he was like, why not? It's still like part of your field and the whole makeup thing. Yeah. And with makeup, I remember like people would say, do you do lashes? Do you do lashes? Do you do hair? Do you do lashes? Like they always want like the package deal. Yeah. So I did like a little bit of research, found someone in Houston, took the class. Yeah, I did it in October of 2018. Now I will say when I took the class, I left not really comfortable. So I didn't do it for like a year. No. And then, I found out later on in the class that you have to be licensed to do lashes in the state of Texas. And all she offered was a certificate. So it was just like, oh my God, I wasted all that money, like I was just a little discouraged. But anyway, fast forward, I went to cosmetology school. I did my hours and became a lash artist. So I've been doing lashes really heavy for probably the last year. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you know what? That kind of sucks because, they really don't tell you. Like, I feel like. No. Yeah, like, I feel like if they're going to be training girls, then they should just do it for girls that are licensed, because. Yeah. You spend all this money and then you're just like, well, what am I going to do with it? Like, they didn't tell me in class that you need to be licensed to be doing this. So it kind of puts you in that position where you feel like, should I even do it, And a lot of girls do risk. That was me. Yeah, like it kind of does suck. And then on top of it too, you spend so much money for these classes and half of them don't even teach you the right steps or, you're kind of like just thrown out there and you're just like, what do I do now, That was me. That was so me. But yeah, I don't regret it though, because I did learn a little something, and I've got there's one girl that I still talk to this day. So I always tell her like, even though I didn't learn much in the class, I gained a friendship and I gained a new friend, and we're still like, we do each other lashes and stuff. So yes, I always try to look at the positive. That's me with my best friend too. Like I met a girl there, and even though we didn't learn nothing from the class, like we have each other. I'm like, oh, try this out, try this glue. Like we're always there for each other. I know, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the best feeling, having some kind of support. Mm-hmm. Okay, can you tell us some struggles about your first year? Like actually being a full lash artist? Okay, so the very first year I didn't really do much. I remember like buying the bed. I was super like excited and stoked about doing lashes, but I didn't know crap. Mm-hmm. The very first year, I remember I would practice on my mom, anyone who would let me practice. And I do remember, funny story, I asked my friend if I could do her lashes, and I thought I was doing a good job. I did a classic set, of course. And when I was all done and I removed the tape and everything, I was like, okay, open. Her eyes will not open. I glued her eyes shut, closed tight, shut. And I was just like, I freaked out, and I was just like, oh my God, how am I gonna get her eye? Because for some reason, like glue removal, it didn't process in my head like, okay, use removal, remover to get her eyes open. Yeah. I guess I didn't want to mess up the set, but I literally like, it took maybe 30 minutes for me to like try to apply her eye open. And I don't recommend anyone doing that. Just if that ever happens, use a remover. But it was painful. I know it's painful for her because I literally like used the tweezer and like popped each eye up. Oh my goodness. It was horrible. Yeah. I can laugh at it now, but during the process, I was like, I didn't even want to touch anyone else's eyes. Oh my goodness. And it's those little things that kind of gets you discouraged, you know? Because you're just like, what do I
Oh
do?
my God, yes. So many things. So many things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another one was my mom actually. So I did her lashes a few times, and like the very last time I did her lashes, she had a reaction to it. So she woke up with like golf ball eyes.
Oh my.
And, you know, I, at the time, of course, we learned it and like wouldn't suggest to go to physician, but I was just like, I don't know. But she ended up going to the doctor and getting steroids and stuff. So
Uh-huh.
that kind of put me in a position where I didn't want to do it anymore either. So yeah, I have stories
Aw.
for
Well, we
days,
got
but
time, so I want to hear
I
them.
just keep pushing.
That's so
Oh,
point, yeah.
um, yeah, I was just, I know, like, okay, so this wasn't, let me see, what was the last struggle I had? Okay, so the last struggle I feel like I had was I was trying to like add more services to my, like,
Mm-hmm.
doing lashing. So I decided to do mobile lashing. So like where I'll drive to my client's house and get set up and everything.
Yeah.
And it worked out for the very first client I did, but the second one, girl,
Oh my
I
goodness.
I'm trying to remember like how okay, so I walked in, and when I walked in, she was cooking food. Like she had food on the stove that she was like just starting. So I was like, okay, so I'm setting up my, area. And mind you, she has like chicken grease all over her. Like she's cooking a big old feast. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, how am I gonna do her lashes and you're cooking at the same time? Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense. So I get her down, tape her up, everything, and for the most part, starting out was okay, but I noticed like after a while, my lashes weren't sticking to her natural lash. So I was just like, okay, what's going on? So me thinking, I'm like, maybe, you know how sensitive the glue is. Like if the temperature is off slightly, it can affect your glue.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, can you turn on your AC? Because it got really hot and steamy in there. So from the cooking,
Fermented.
obviously, I didn't put two and two together, but it was from like her kitchen area.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like no wall to divide her kitchen and where I was set up.
Oh.
So uh, she turns on the AC, and I'm like, okay, let me see if this works. Hopefully, it eliminates some of the steam in the room. I don't know. So then midway, she's like, hey, I need to get up and check on my food. So she gets up, go lift the pot with the steam. And mind
Oh.
you, I'm doing her lashes. Steam and lash glue does not mix.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So she comes back down, girl, all the lashes are coming out. And so I was just like, it was the worst trying to get the right temperature in the room, her cooking, her getting up. And I was just like, I'm never doing this again. So I still do have it like listed on my page that I do mobile services, but
You don't do it.
yeah, I have to really, yeah, like I don't know, I have to think twice about that one. So
Yeah, man.
that's kind of a story.
Yeah, and it's crazy because in the beginning too, a lot of girls would ask me like, would you come to my house? And I'm like, I don't know about that, just because you don't know what kind of environment you're gonna get yourself
That's so
into.
true.
And then you don't have control over your humidity, and you need to have control for your glues, right? So,
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I can't believe you did that.
I can't believe I did that either. I think I was just like desperate to get clients, and I was just
Yeah.
like, but I love my setup, and I'm like, no, come to me, like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I think we've all had like our horror stories. Yeah, and like,
Yeah.
as a beginner, you, on top of being a beginner, you have all these things coming at you, and you don't know how to handle it, like it gets you stressed out and anxious, and most of
Girl.
the time you're just like, can I just get one lash to stick? And then after that,
Yeah.
it's just all downhill from there. So how did you
Yeah.
manage? Like, did you officially like finish the set?
So it took me a normal, set takes about 2.5 hours for me. It took me maybe 4 hours. And I ended up doing a hybrid set on her. She wanted hybrid. I did a hybrid. But I'm not gonna lie, it looked like a classic. It was just so sparse, and I just couldn't get those lashes to stick. And I explained to her, and she understood. I was trying to explain like the whole steam and the humidity in the room, and she was like, I never knew that you guys, had to deal with all of that. And I was like, yeah, there's a lot that comes into like with the glue and all that stuff. So she wasn't mad, but it wasn't like a nice full hybrid set.
And I think that's one thing too, is that coming into the industry, we're not really taught about all that, They might mention it here and there, but it's not like full on drilled into our head that we do need to have control over our temperature, humidity, because that affects the glue. And if that affects the glue, then your retention is going to be bad,
Yes.
So I think it's all those little things that kind of makes us grow into being better lash artists.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to kind of go through it to like learn, learn from your mistakes. And I feel like I'm still a newbie in the lash game, even though I've been doing it for 2 years. Like I'm still learning, and you have your days when stuff happens. Yeah, like stuff happens. And matter of fact, I kind of closed down in my city because our numbers were steady of COVID. I don't want to say the word. They were just increasing, and I just thought that it would be best for me to kind of shut down for a little bit. And I just opened back up literally like 2 days ago, and just getting back in the groove of holding a tweezer and like doing lashes on an actual person. It was a struggle for me. Like I said, a normal service for me was like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. It took me like 3.5 hours to finish her set, and she loved it. But as a lash artist, you kind of know like at the end, I don't know about you, but like sometimes I critique myself so bad. I'm just like, oh my God, it could have been so much better. She doesn't know, but I know there's little things that I could have done better. So it's a struggle, but I know I'll do better. It's just a learning process.
I don't consider myself a professional. I'm still learning. I'm still growing.
Girl, your work is beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. I've only been lashing as long as you too. Like I'm not a professional. Yeah. Like, no, like I am not a professional anyway. I'm still learning. I still want to take more courses, and there's always room for improvement, But I feel like when you first start off, like even if you had 1 or 2 or 3 years, you're still gonna be like, I could do better. And one thing too is like not to compare yourself. And I feel like I struggled so much in the beginning because I'm like, man, like this girl has been doing lashes the same as me, and she's so much better. I can't be like that, And I feel like little things like that always makes you doubt yourself. And especially when you're working so hard on a set, and when they open your eyes and you're just like, oh my God, why does it look like that? Like that is not what I pictured, But it's like we have this big thing in our head where we want to do it all and we want it to be perfect. And I feel like, especially me, because I'm a big perfectionist, and I have to remind myself that at the end of the day, it's not about it being perfect. It's about it doing it right, doing everything right, the isolation, your glue working good, your placement, everything,
I love that. I really do. Yeah. I love that. You say you're doing it right, and that's all that matters.
Yes, and that's one thing I tell my girls all the time is that like, don't stress out about your time or like if it looks good or not. Like at the end of the day, it's as long as you did a good job, that's all that matters. What are your goals within the industry, and where do you want to go?
Yes, so my goals, I do want to perfect my volume and mega volume. I would love to take a course in mega volume. That's my goal for this year, actually. And my ultimate goal is to start teaching. I do want to start teaching girls. Of course, I want them, like you stated earlier, I want them to have their license already. I don't want to do the same thing that I mistakenly did, you know, like I want to
like make easy money just because it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually do
So
it right.
that's my ultimate goal for going forward. So yeah.
I'm excited for you.
I'm excited. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's
So you mentioned that you were into strip lashes. Like, did you ever start your strip lash business? Is that what
no,
you're talking
no. Okay, so I was trying to find vendors. I didn't go as far as like actually selling them. I just went as far as like going and finding vendors and getting samples. But I never, you know what? Actually, I should add that to my goal too,
Yes.
because you know it all ties
Yeah.
together. But yeah, I had a thing where it's just like I come up with so many great ideas and I don't execute them. So
It's
I'm done with that, and I'm gonna
yeah.
start that business.
Yeah, it's so easy to be like, I want to do this, and then when you really think about it, you're like, oh, like that sounds like so hard. Like
It's
I'm just gonna
so
put it
much.
to the side right now, you know? And
Girl, do you know me? Like, I feel like you know exactly what I go through. That is so true.
I mean, it's easy, you know, it's so easy to be like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. But then you think about it, you're just like, okay, like I should probably take it easy, you know? And sometimes it's
Yeah,
okay to take it easy because you don't want to
yeah,
add so much to your plate and
yeah.
then be overwhelmed with
Be
everything.
overwhelmed, and I get overwhelmed so quickly.
Yes, me too. Me too, all the time. And I'm just like, because
Yeah.
when I wanted to do this series, like I've been thinking about it for a while too. And for some reason, like I would think about it so much, and I'm just like, I can't add that to my plate. Like, what am I thinking, you know? And then
No,
now that I'm actually doing it, I'm like, okay, it's not as bad as I
no,
thought.
yeah, I love the idea. I love
Oh,
that
thank
you can
you.
connect to other artists. I feel like we need more of that, you
Yes.
know, especially in the smaller lash community. Like the bigger lash communities, they already have that going on, but we definitely need more support and more
Yes.
people. Yeah, I love
Yes,
it.
and that's what I wanted. You know, my overall page and my YouTube channel is based about that. It's like I want to build a community of, you know, even the new lash girl could come and be like, I got this, you know,
Yeah,
like
well, honestly, thank you so much for your page because, you
oh,
know, I feel like we're both in the I'm like tongue tied, but we've been doing it for the same amount of time. But I know when I was trying to get more information, there wasn't really that much out there when I first started. But now I feel like there is, and I've been following you for a little while. So
oh,
thank you.
thank
Yeah, learned a lot from you.
thank you. And that's what I want. Like, I'm not a professional, but if I'm learning something, I want other people
To
to know about
share.
it too, you know? Because it's like, why keep it to yourself? Like, it shouldn't be a secret. Like, none of this
That's
should be
true.
a secret. And
Yeah.
yes, it's also good to invest in yourself and do other courses and, you know, pay to learn more. But at the same time, it's like, why not just go somewhere where you could just learn the little things, the basic things,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like for free. Like that shouldn't be like, well, no, like you got to take my course for that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like when I did, you know, my YouTube channel, I wanted to be around like, oh, based around that theory that
Mm-hmm.
if I'm learning something, I want the other girls to know about it too. So
Oh, that's it.
thank you. So I would actually like to see your business grow, especially with your strip lash. Like I think that would be like a
Oh,
really good idea for you to do.
okay.
That would
I
be so cool because
definitely
you know
will.
yeah, like your name, D Lash Box. Like, girl, that sounds like that should be in a box.
I know. I
You
know.
should think about that. Aw.
Yep.
Aw.
You know what? I am definitely gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
You
I'm just
should.
gonna do it. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what's holding me back. So,
Just take the small steps. I mean, you obviously already looked into
the vendors, like, just finding different
vendors and
vendors.
all
Yeah.
that. So you already took the first step. So now you just gotta get back in the groove of doing it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but don't rush it though, because, you know, we want
Yeah.
good stuff from you. All right. So, what is the number one tip that you would give to any lash artist starting off in this journey?
Well, I have two. First one is to keep trying.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm speaking to you guys, but I'm also speaking to myself because, like I stated before, I struggled with that first with my lady that I had the other day when I first opened back up. And I kind of like doubted myself a little bit. I kind of was like, dang, is this something that I want to do? But then, you know, I got out of that mindset and I just started practicing. And eventually you'll get better.
Yes.
So don't give up. It's going to be really tough in the beginning, but if you just keep practicing, I swear, like, it'll get easier and your time will get shorter, and just don't give up. It's so satisfying when you do a lash set and it's beautiful and your client likes it. You get to post that picture. It's just so satisfying.
It's like a proud moment. You're like, that's
yes, yes.
Yeah.
My second tip, which I don't really know much about it, but do research on like marketing, because that was one thing that I did not know at all.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a big following or anything. I still don't, but try to find ways on like marketing yourself, like paying for extra ads, or what is it on Instagram when you can like boost your promotions. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word, but yeah. There's so many different ways of marketing, like passing out your cards, and you know, once you feel confident enough to actually start doing lashes, just figure out ways to kind of get out there.
Yes, I feel like referrals is a good way of marketing too.
Yeah.
If you do one girl, then you'd be like, hey, like if you bring me a friend,
yeah,
both of you guys can get like $10 off or $15.
That's a good one.
You know? That's cool too. And I feel like too, when it comes to marketing yourself, I feel like girls shouldn't really focus on followers, you know, like, cause
yes,
I feel like I've noticed, especially now that my lash page is growing a lot more, like half of the girls that are on there are not ever going to be my clients, you know. Most of them are lash artists, you know, that they're
yeah.
So a good way is to promote yourself through ads and through referrals, and then also handing out your cards, but don't focus on the numbers when it comes to
so true.
That's not really gonna bring in
money,
your clients. So I recommend, when it comes to your Instagram page, is to actually just focus on good quality pictures.
Good quality.
Because that's when you bring in a girl, they're gonna be like, oh, like her work is good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one thing, is that not to overkill on so much, you know, but just focus on the little basics, like, you know, how much you charge, like your good quality photos, and referrals, you know. So like, don't focus on
that's a good tip. Lighting, ladies, like lighting is a key.
Lighting for sure, because then your girls can't see the pictures that you're taking.
Right. I see a lot of times, like, girls may have really good work, but the quality of the picture is probably dark and you can't really see. So lighting is really important, I feel.
Yep. And that's one thing too, is like girls are like, how do you get good quality like lighting, like for your photos? Like, how do you take your photos? And I'm like, well, first of all, lighting is a must. Like, if you don't have a ring light or some type of lighting for you to like actually see how you're lashing, like, how do you work that light, you know?
Like those little bitty hairs, you gotta have light to see, girl.
Yeah, for sure. So, can I say, if you could go back in time when you were a beginner lash artist, like, what is one thing you would tell yourself?
That's a good question. I would tell myself, I think same thing like what I was saying earlier, as far as like, don't give up. Well, like I said, the very first year was really like rocky for me. I kind of didn't know. So I probably would tell myself to just kind of keep practicing and don't give up. I probably would have, I'm sorry. I'm like, I want to say like maybe invested into another type of class, or took in the cosmetology license sooner, but I wouldn't have taken so long to get my license. Because I stopped doing it I stopped for a year and then I started, so I probably would have did it sooner.
Well, as long as you're back in the game, you know.
That's
all that matters.
That's a good question though. Like, now that I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've invested so much, like, I've done so much research and just watched so many YouTube videos and just try to make myself better. So
do you have any questions for me before we finish off?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did write down one.
Ah,
So what is your suggestion and or advice do you have for someone who hasn't lashed in a while? Like for my example that I stated earlier. So like, you know how some people might have just taken a long break and they're getting back into lashing? Like, what do you suggest?
I feel like you mentally have to prepare yourself first. Like, well, at least for me, when everything got shut down and
Yeah.
went through that whole period of not being able to lash, and then when they announced that you could reopen, I think it was that anxiety that was kicking in, where you're just like, oh my god, like, am I even gonna be good, like what am I gonna do, like what if I mess this up, and I completely lose my clients. And for me, like, I feel like I mentally had to prepare myself. Like, I had to tell myself, you are a badass, like you got this, like don't
Oh,
even
that's
stress.
good.
And I feel like that's one thing that always helps me out is good affirmations. Like, you need to learn how to talk to yourself good,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're doing this, if you're going to be doing this, and you have to learn or like be good to yourself.
Yeah.
Everything is all about mental, like your mindset has to be on point, because if your mindset is not on point, you could easily get discouraged. And I feel like that's one thing that has really helped me out through my whole journey, is talking to myself good and telling myself that I can do
Yeah.
it. Because if you're not in that mindset, then everything's gonna bug you. Once I feel like, you have those bad days where you're just like not feeling it, and you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
you're in that little rut where and then everything just seems to be going bad. And I feel like it all comes down to how you were thinking at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other day, I was lashing my friend, like she barely came back in and everything was going bad, and I was just like, why is this not working?
Yeah,
Like,
I feel like
you're
I had that day
so
yesterday. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then because everything seems to be going bad, you if you actually step back and actually pay attention to how you're talking to yourself, it really has a lot to do with everything. With everything. And once I was like, okay, like you need to calm down, like you need to like stay focused, and you need to get your shit together.
Yeah,
Then everything just goes by a lot smoother. So
that's good.
I feel like, yeah, like if you're, barely coming out through everything, and you want to get back into your A game, then you have to mentally prepare yourself or talk to yourself good. Just tell yourself, like,
Okay.
yeah, like you really do got this. You know what to do. You know
Yes.
what to do. You know how to make a fan. You know how to isolate. So just tell yourself, like, why am I stressing out about this? I could do this. You got this. So remember that next time you are struggling, just sit back and be like, okay, why am I stressing out? Like, why? Like, what's going on? Like, talk to yourself, because I feel like
Okay.
that's really what's going to help you out. So focus on your mindset, and you
Okay.
got this.
Thank you. I love that advice. I'm gonna do that. I do say affirmations like every day, but I think sometimes the anxiety of, especially with my client yesterday, that was my first client in like so long. I think I just had that anxiety and I was just anxious.
Yeah.
So I do need to like step back, keep it
Yes.
cool, calm, collective.
I mean, not every day is gonna be perfect. Like, you're
Yeah.
always gonna have those days where you're just like, man, do I really want to do this today? But no, just don't worry about it. You got this.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
There. You're back.
okay.
You got stuck.
Hear me now? Okay.
Yeah. All right then. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up today's video chat. It was so nice talking to you and actually finally meeting you. And I want to thank you for your support and your love. I think you're gone again. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. There you
Oh,
go.
oh my gosh. Okay. Can you hear me? Can you
Yeah.
see me?
Yeah. It's just a little.
Okay. Okay. Well, if can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. You're good.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much for having me on your series, and this was so much fun. We're friends now, so I need your number.
All right then.
But
Well, I'm glad that you
yeah.
took time to do this with me, and I am really excited to finally post you and talk about you, and put you out there for the whole world to see. Aw. All right. Well, thank you,
All
hon.
right,
Thanks for
girl.
giving me this time, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Take care. Alright guys, so that pretty much wraps up today's video. What did you guys think of Dee from D Lashbox? Isn't she so cute? Oh my god, I loved our little conversation where we pretty much just talked about getting our mindset together and focusing on our goals. And I feel like that's one thing that we all need to really get down. So again guys, don't forget to go follow Dee from D Lashbox on Instagram. She is so beautiful, her work is so beautiful, and she's such a sweet girl. So don't forget to show some love, because this is what this series is about, is showing love and supporting each other and lifting each other up. So let's go show some love and go tell Dee that you guys love this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like this video and subscribe and hit the notification button so you guys don't miss out on future videos, because I have so many lash babes that are lined up and you guys do not want to miss my future videos, because everything that we're gonna talk about this series is pretty much questions that you guys have all been wondering. And I feel like on this series we're gonna answer pretty much everything that you want to know, and everything's just gonna be thrown out on the table. There's not gonna be no secrets here. So make sure you guys are being notified, because you guys do not want to miss out on all these episodes. You guys could listen it on a car ride, you guys could listen while you're cleaning, you guys could listen while you're cooking, you guys could listen while you're getting ready in the morning to kill it for the day. So don't forget to subscribe guys, because your support means the world to me, and I'm almost at 1,000, and you know what's coming when I hit 1,000. Alright guys, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye!